RealAgriculture.com is proud to present coverage of the 20th anniversary of Canada's Outdoor Farm Show in Woodstock, Ontario.
All right, we're at Canada's Outdoor Farm Show with Derek Freitag of Monsanto, Canada, and you're going to walk us through something new. Tell us a bit about that.
Right, so our Roundup Ready to Extend technology. So it's new technology we hope to launch in 2015. Soybean herbicide technology, a biotech trait, conferring Dicamba tolerance to soybeans. So it's a new trait that is based on our Roundup Ready 2 Yield platform. So we've got all the benefits of the Roundup Ready 2 Yield technology with the added bonus of biotech tolerance to the active ingredient Dicamba in soybeans. So the benefit from including Dicamba in a soybean herbicide program is where we see the largest benefit around the residual control with Dicamba. So we're proposing an early use pattern in soybeans, so as part of a pre-plant burn down in soybeans in conjunction with glyphosate or Roundup, where growers could put on a burn down that includes both Roundup and Dicamba. The benefit of the Dicamba is extended residual control of a 4 to 6 week period. So what we're seeing is a weed-free period in soybeans right around emergence up to about the 4th trifoliate. And then at that point we're asking growers to come back in with a single shot of glyphosate and control weeds that may have emerged during that period. So growers are essentially getting soybeans that come out of the ground in a weed-free scenario and then are weed-free through the entire season. And when that happens, we're seeing about a 2.3 bushel advantage on average. So added yield from residual control and early weed emergence control. The other benefit in including Dicamba in the program is around glyphosate resistant weed management. So certain parts of Ontario there is our glyphosate resistant weeds, so giant ragweed as well as Canada fleabane and now common ragweed. So 3 different weed species that are resistant to glyphosate. All 3 of them Dicamba is very active on and works very well. So it's a great option for growers with that particular problem that will now have good weed control as well. They'll have that residual that I talked about earlier and hopefully that 2.3 bushel average yield benefit. So
perfect. Now there's also a kind of a different component to this, which we're standing next to the sign. You've actually got some application requirements that sort of fit into the system as well. So
yeah,
a bit about that.
Yeah, we do. So Dicamba is a fairly active herbicide on broadleaf weed species and also on some of our crops. So it doesn't take much to cause injury. And we're not concerned about it. We think if growers are using best management practices to be good stewards and apply herbicides that are on target, remain on target at the right time, that there shouldn't really be any concern at all. And we've talked to a few groups, grower groups, vegetable growers, a few others, around these concerns and have addressed them with some of our application requirements that I'm standing in front of now. And really what we're targeting are a few things that we'll be asking growers to pay attention to. And really not any of it is new. It is all kind of things that growers should be thinking about now as they're applying any herbicide, just to keep that herbicide on target in a safe, responsible manner, which is, on the weed at the right time to kill that weed for the particular crop you're working with. So some of the simple things we'll be talking about is nozzle selection. So choosing nozzles that are a very coarse to ultra coarse spray droplet size, and in a lot of cases custom applicators and growers are using nozzles that are already a very coarse droplet size. So it's not really changing too much for some growers. Other growers will have to move to a very coarse type of nozzle that works, in most cases works very well with all herbicides. So it's not something that they would need especially for the Roundup Ready to Extend cropping system. It's really just something that they would be able to use across all their crops. That's going to make them better herbicide applicators across all their crops. Some of the other things we'll be thinking about is ground speed, so maintaining a ground speed of 25 kilometers per hour or less, which is a fairly generous window. Keeping growers at a responsible speed keeps our pressures down, our spray pressures down, minimizes the fines that we would get from increased pressure through the sprayer to try and maintain their application volume. And application volume is another one, so keeping it at 10 gallons or 100 liters per hectare or more. So those are some of the things. One thing that we do talk about on a regular basis, even with glyphosate and Roundup, is controlling weeds that are small. So it's start clean, stay clean is our approach in all of our crops. We'll be maintaining that through the Extend program, but spraying weeds that are 4 inches or less, so 10 centimeters or less in size. So it's better control of smaller weeds than trying to control large overgrown weeds. And of course, you know, your boom height is a key one, as well as your wind speed. So maintaining or spraying when there is a wind speed of 15 kilometers an hour or less, ideally in the 3 to 10 kilometer per hour range. We like to have a little bit of wind just to get those fines and that vapor down onto the ground and keep it away, keep it from drifting away.